And welcome back. Turning to Northwest news, the Yakima Nation is celebrating the return of sockeye salmon into a lake on the east slope of the Cascade Mountains, where they were eliminated decades ago. Biologists released 1,000 fish into Lake Cle Elum in central Washington during the summer of 2009, and the fish swam up the Cle Elum River that fall to spawn. Now the offspring of the fish are returning to their birthplace to spawn after spending 2 years in the ocean. Juvenile salmon migrate to the ocean, then return upriver to spend several months in a lake before spawning in mountain creeks and rivers. Sockeye salmon were eradicated in central Washington rivers when the rivers were dammed. Also known as the blueback, sockeye salmon are revered by Pacific Northwest tribes. After Grant County and Moses Lake banned sky lanterns, a fire caused by the floating luminaries has been reported. Sela police say a man started a 500-acre wildfire by launching a sky lantern. The bag heated by a candle drifted into a hillside last Friday and started a brush fire that took 100 firefighters to extinguish. The Yakima Herald-Republic reports police are recommending a reckless burning charge against a 36-year-old Yakima man. The man responsible reportedly spoke to firefighters at the scene and said he intended for the sky lantern to rise into the air. A man who was wounded by Kennewick police last month when he pulled a gun is free after being released from a Seattle hospital. No charges have been filed against 26-year-old Dennis Skellinger, so police have no reason to hold him. The Benton County Prosecutor's Office says it's waiting on evidence from a state crime lab. Police claim that they chased Skellinger on June 14th after he allegedly tried to get a cash refund at an auto parts store by returning merchandise purchased with a stolen credit card. After police dogs tracked him down, police claim he pulled a gun and was shot by an officer. After national news about the federal government seizing information about domestic phone calls, cell phone companies are finding ways to track and reduce the amount of requests and make some money at the same time. Here with the story is the Associated Press.
The revelations about the National Security Agency's widespread surveillance programs of phone and internet records caused a huge public outcry. But when the government wants to actually listen in on phone calls, it comes with a high price tag. While online data is very cheap for now, according to an Associated Press investigation, phone surveillance has become a multi-million-dollar business, and costs are expected to grow.
What we found was that pretty much every company, with the exception of Facebook, charges the government to access your data.
The average law enforcement telephone wiretap costs the government more than $50,000, with big federal cases running as much as $2.9 million. And there are no standard rates. AT&T, for example, imposes a $325 activation fee per wiretap, and then $10 a day to maintain it. Verizon charges $775 for the first month and $500 each month after that. Cricket and U.S. Cellular charge $250 per wiretap.
Charging a nominal fee for surveillance is a good thing. It should not be a profit center. Companies should not be making money off of surveillance.
Civil liberties advocates actually worry that surveillance might be getting too cheap and support fees as long as they are transparent.
It means that the person who's making the request, whether it's a police officer or an FBI agent, has to ask their boss for permission because they're going to hit the department's budget. And it also creates a paper trail that advocates can later obtain through FOIA requests.
But attorney John Ballesteri argues the carriers are overcharging the government. He's part of a legal team suing on behalf of the FBI and several local police forces to get money back.
It used to be labor intensive for a telecom to authorize a wiretap, but everything we know now leads us to believe it takes nothing more than a flip of a switch after they receive a court-authorized wiretap order.
The telephone companies say the fees are needed to cover the huge volume of requests. AT&T says it has 100 employees dedicated to reviewing and handing over data. Verizon says 70 employees work around the clock to handle the 250,000 requests it gets each year. With taxpayers footing the bill, there is a high premium for your data. Ted Chaffrey, Associated Press, New York.
That's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.